3 3-minute rounds in the amateur flyweight division. Introducing your first warrior. Fighting out of the blue corner, this man's a mixed martial artist with an amateur record of 3 wins and no losses. He stands 165 centimeters tall and weighs a ready 57.3 kilograms. Representing Gladiator MMA in Jordan and fighting out of Irbid, Jordan, please welcome the Falcon, Mohammad Al Mherat. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. This man's a mixed martial artist with an amateur record of 8 wins and 5 losses. He stands 168 centimeters tall and weighs a ready 56.9 kilograms. Representing KHK MMA and fighting out of the magnificent Kingdom of Bahrain, give it up for Mohammed Salah AlMuamari.
It's on, Phil.
Touch of gloves to start. The Falcon in the blue, Mohammed Salah AlMuamari in the red. Notice both these men wearing shin guards. Slightly bigger gloves as this is an amateur bout. Just trying to get a measure of one another right now. Nice wide stance from the Falcon, almost as if he's anticipating a potential takedown coming from Mohammed. And it's the Falcon in with the takedown. Trying to grasp that single, gets his man to the ground. What kind of a ground game does he have? What kind of positional control can he implement here? Kimura attempt here by Mohammed Salah.
Reversal. In on the submission.
He's got the figure 4 grip on that. He may try and pull guard here to get that. Diving into the Kimura. He is relentless with that grip, Carrick.
Dog on a bone, baby. At this point, I do not believe he can do anything any longer with it, but he may prove me wrong.
The beauty of that Kimura grip is it's not just a submission. You can also use that to transition and move your opponent. But he really is going all in on this Kimura with the grip. The Falcon doing the right thing by keeping close, keeping compressed, not giving his opponent space with which to extend the hips and extend the arms and really get in on that.
Falcon is in there aggressively, not to fly, but to force his opponent down onto the ground. He's now doing what he's supposed to do, starting to inflict some damage.
And that's really smart positional control. He has the hand wrapped around the waist. He may try and even take the back from this position, but nice work from AlMuamari to turn it in towards his opponent. We may see him trying to dive in for underhooks here. He's clamping down on that overhook he has on the right side. But again, wonderful takedown work, just methodical wrestling.
Extremely impressive, Phil. What's the most important aspect of mixed martial arts? Wrestling, and that is what we're seeing from the Falcon. Relentless wrestling with some strikes when he can do so safely, just like that.
Momentarily had a hook in, may look to reestablish that. You can see it's just beautiful pressure wrestling, forcing his opponent to do the work. Has one underhook, may try and work for another one.
Brave Nation, the athletes are right on top of us at that point. It appears the Falcon is trying to squeeze his opponent straight through the fence.
30 seconds to go in the opening round of 3 3-minute rounds. Oh, that's nice work using the hands from the Falcon.
AlMuamari trying to establish a striking game, has not been successful yet. And back down to the ground.
10-second clapper. And what I liked from the Falcon there was he used the hands a little bit and then transitioned to the takedown, stringing together, chaining his attacks very intelligently.
Round ends. Phil, let's play judge a little bit. I don't think there's any question in either of our minds who took that round 10-9.
Well, if you're looking at it, you have to factor in the takedowns, the positional control, the positional awareness from Mohammad Al Mherat. And I think if I was pushed, I would have to say he took that 10-9.
I would indeed, and I would add, he didn't just wrestle him. This was not just a wall and stall. It wasn't a lay and pray. He was, as we can see in the replay, landing some strikes as well. Phil, walk us through the Green Hill replay.
Gets in on that single beautifully, and that elicited the reaction of the Kimura grip from Mohammed Salah AlMuamari, who who looked like he was really working for that. But again, with these 3-minute rounds in amateur mixed martial arts, you really need to snap something on quickly if you're going to get it done. But again, fantastic wrestling and positional dominance from Mohammad the Falcon Al Mherat. It'll be interesting to see if he continues using that tag, use the hands to set up the takedowns.
That was the next question, Phil. AlMuamari's team does believe he's down 10-9 at this point. What advice do they give him?
I think use your range a little bit more, circle off. Again, the difficulty with being an amateur is you can't load a knee to the head in a situation like that, which would negate the takedown threat. So I think he's going to try and circle off a little bit more and perhaps implement his boxing a little more.
Nice glove touch. We do appreciate the shows of sportsmanship in the brave cage.
And Al Mherat looks very calm in there. He looks very loose. He's not rushing anything. He's letting the opportunities present themselves rather than trying to force something to happen. That's a lovely leg kick, but if anything, it was like a red rag to a bull. I think AlMuamari's finger perhaps just slipped out of the glove there. These guys are starting to throw a little bit harder. There's bad intentions in those 8-ounce gloves. Again, clinch initiated by Al Mherat. Nice little stepping knee. And again, the takedown defense now is looking a little bit cleaner for Mohammed Salah AlMuamari.
It is.
Oh, that's a beautiful shot. Forces the takedown shot from the
Best
Falcon.
shot of the night, Phil.
Can he complete the single? He really needs to try. If he's going for that single, he needs to get that leg of his opponent between his legs and turn the corner on it. So far, good defense being implemented right now by AlMuamari. High crotch attempt here from the Falcon. Again, the takedown defense is much better from AlMuamari in this second round.
Phil, we do see these reversals of fortune happen in the Brave Combat Federation cage. Sometimes a fighter wins a round, gets just a little overconfident, doesn't set up his techniques as well, doesn't set up the strikes as well, the takedowns as well, and is denied and is countered. That is what we're seeing right here.
Halfway point of the second round, and that's a nice knee again to the body, but the problem with throwing those knees is sometimes if you're not quick enough with it, your opponent will latch on to your leg and force the takedown. Again, nice wide base here being implemented by AlMuamari.
Phil, AlMuamari is again trying to establish his wrestling, but he's not successful. In the judges' eyes, he may actually be trying to avoid a fight at this point.
Oh, that's a beautiful crushing knee to the body, and that really will take the wind out of the sails of your opponent. And nice head movement here from AlMuamari. He's throwing that lead hook and then trying to roll out of it, but gets caught with a shot coming off his kick there. And I think a point we have to make as well, Kirik, is if you're the guy trying to implement the wrestling, that can be just as taxing as defending the wrestling.
If not more so, Phil. It actually can be harder to stop a shot than to initiate one, especially if you get stuck underneath somebody for a while and your breathing becomes compromised. AlMuamari is not relenting on the strikes, even when he's pushed up against the cage, and again landed a clean body shot. Short time now, 10 seconds.
Oh, spinning back kick attempt from the Falcon. Tried to take flight there, but oh, that's beautiful takedown defense off the shot from AlMuamari. A much closer round, but a very, very difficult one to call, Kirik. There's a number of factors going on there. Is it the pressuring and almost stalling against the cage that you give the points to, or is it the counter striking? Because the most telling shot that has been landed in this fight so far has come from AlMuamari.
It was indeed. The first round, very, very clear to me. This one a little bit less clear, but I am calling it for Mohammed Salah AlMuamari. 10-9. Brave Nation, I do believe we are now even at 22-20. Whoever wins the next round wins this fight.
And if you're looking at both fighters at the moment, Mohammed Salah AlMuamari looks like the fresher fighter, whereas the Falcon looks like he's been grounded a little bit here. Breathing a little bit heavier. You see Nauris Abzak in his corner, Brave Combat Federation bantamweight fighter himself.
Momentum is a thing in mixed martial arts, just like physics, Phil. I'm really interested to see if AlMuamari can keep the momentum he's got going and take this fight.
Especially at this stage of an amateur bout, it could come down to the cardio, could come down to who is the better conditioned fighter. And right now, just to look at them, it looks more like AlMuamari. That's a nice stiff jab landed. The Falcon looks tired. He looks a little bit wobbly on those legs, Carrick.
He does, Phil, but he's backing up to try and set up a big shot. He's playing possum just a little bit here. Unfortunately, he may genuinely be tired. His reflexes may be a little slow. Thus far, those counter shots have not found their mark.
I think, as you say, Carrick, he's just trying to land that one big shot with what energy he has left. But AlMuamari looking much fresher and in on a wonderful takedown. Beautiful entry and finish on that double
Down
leg.
to the ground.
The Falcon has indeed landed on his back. And AlMuamari now just forcing his opponent to carry his weight, landing enough strikes to keep him honest. And if he can exploit the fatigue of his opponent right now, you could see a potential stoppage.
Brave Nation, one of the most dangerous situations for a fighter is when he rises off the ground. When that happens, it becomes, as you're seeing right here, it becomes very easy to take the back, or if not very easy, relatively easy. This is one of the most potentially dangerous spots in the sport.
One hook established by AlMuamari. Can he get the second hook in and really try and force the action for the rear naked choke? Again, with that one hook, he may be setting up that second hook. He has wrist control on the Falcon.
Halfway through this round, and so far it is all Mohammed Salah AlMuamari.
Second hook established, now has a lot more control. May try and flatten his opponent out by stretching those legs out and forcing the hips down, and that's exactly what he's done. 1 minute with which to work. Can he secure a fight-ending submission right now? Trying to soften up the Falcon with big strikes. And when you have an opponent on your back digging in the hooks, it makes it so much more difficult to try and mount any kind of defense, but trying right now to turn into his opponent. Inside control, you could perhaps see a crucifix set up here. He's trying to step over for that crucifix, isolate the arm, expose the face of your opponent, and land big strikes.
Phil, there are moments in a fight when conditioning isn't everything, it's the only thing, and that's what we're seeing right now. Mohammad the Falcon Taufeeq Al Mherat is gassed.
Can he hang on for 20 seconds or so? But what a changing of the tide, going from that first round. Slowly started to change in the second, and in the third it has been all AlMuamari. Trying to finish with a big flourish, big strikes to finish off. Momentarily steps just into the mount, and what a show of composure from the young 24-year-old KHK amateur fighter. Rode out the storm of the first round in which he was taken down 3 or 4 times, and then implemented his game plan, worked well, finished him in a dominant position, and potentially took the fight.
I do believe he did, Phil. I've long believed and long noticed that how the fight ends very, very often dictates the score the judges give. That fight ended with Mohammed Salah AlMuamari in top mount, just about to rain down destruction. It's not an impossibility. They might even call this, for amateurs, a 10-8 round.
Scores just being tabulated by our cage side judges. AlMuamari lifting his hands aloft. He thinks he's done enough to win, but it matters really what the judges think.
The Falcon, too, raising his hand. He's proud of his performance, as well he should be. Two fighters embrace. Nice to see that happen before the scores are called. Respect is earned, and these two gentlemen have earned each other's respect.
And this has the potential to be a huge win for Mohammed Salah AlMuamari, potentially taking the scalp of the Falcon and handing him his first loss.
Phil, I think it's especially important that AlMuamari in this fight, if he has one, which I believe he do, he's learned how to come back. And unless your name is Friend of Brave Combat Federation,
There you see Yusuf Kouhezi talking with his fighter post-fight. A lot of positives to take from that for the young IMAF veteran. And realistically, Keurig, with a performance like that, how far away do you think someone like AlMuamari is from the professional ranks?
That's a fantastic question, and it's always one that's up to the coach. So many amateur fighters pressure their coaches. Coach, when can I turn pro? Coach, when can I turn pro? It's up to the coach. That's not one I'd even like to touch. My answer personally, though, would be soon.
And making his way to the Brave Arena is the voice of Brave Combat Federation. It is the Roaring Lion, which means we have a decision.
All right, Brave Nation, what a way to start the night. After 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards. All 3 judges score the bout 29-28 for a unanimous decision victory. For your winner, out of the red corner, from Cage K MMA, Mohammed Salah AlMuamari.